Okay, we are live.
Okay.
So I'm going to make you the host. Just bear with me a minute.
Okay, great.
All right, so now you should be the host. All right, so you can get going.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Welcome to one of the series for Heart to Heart. We pick a different topic every week. Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and Sunday at 9 a.m. We pick a different topic as part of our Heart to Heart series. Today's topic is rewiring our conscious mind. A bit about myself. My name is Nupur Khandelwal. I am located in Canada. I am a manager of learning and talent development in LCBO. LCBO is a government agency within Ontario. And I have worked in a few different companies, both private sector and the public sector. I have also been practicing meditation as part of the Heartfulness organization. And I have observed certain changes within myself in these past 8 years that I've been involved with the organization. That gave me the idea and the encouragement to come to this platform today and share some of my own experiences. Some of my thoughts that I'll be sharing today, they are grounded in research, and I will also be adding some of my personal life experiences with all of you. So again, thank you for taking the time. A bit about meditation, first of all. Meditation is a technique which focuses on focusing our mind on a specific thought or object. And as I'm talking through our session today, we'll specifically be talking about heartfulness meditation. So the topic for today is rewiring our conscious mind. Why this topic? These are definitely unusual and unprecedented times. We are adjusting to our new normal, to our next normal. And we are experiencing a lot of different feelings like stress, anxiety, fear, and a lot of our feelings are impacting the way we think, the decisions we make, and how we act. The session today is really about being more intentional and using our willpower to make these decisions for ourselves. So I'll be talking about two specific techniques. One is to reflect, and the other one is to shift our mindset. I will now share my screen with you. One moment. Okay, you can see my screen? Yes? Okay. So let's talk about reflection. To reflect. Imagine that you want to take a picture, right? If you want to take a selfie, you hold out your hand and you have a cell phone and you remain still for a few minutes. If you want to take a picture, you put your camera in front of an object or a scenery and you pause for a moment. The idea is that you're still for just a few seconds so you can focus. And it's your picture, you want to capture a picture that's not fuzzy. The idea of reflection is very similar. You are focusing inwardly within yourself. So you're focusing on bringing your awareness within yourself in terms of how you're feeling in that moment in time, in that split second. Within the practice of heartfulness meditation, often after a meditation sitting, a meditation session, we pause for a few minutes and just observe our state of being. And I find that this idea, this concept of reflection, goes a long way in building our resiliency and in developing self-awareness among ourselves. So let me share a story with you. In late March, when the pandemic has just started to become more and more awareness about the pandemic, I experienced that when I'm going to grocery shopping, as usual, I'm taking my grocery list with me, but I was purchasing way more quantity than I had initially anticipated. And I'm purchasing items that were not on my list. I'm getting a lot more frozen foods, canned goods, way more toilet paper I need, hand sanitizers, to the end that when I come back home to apartment, there is no space for storage. And that was a moment for me to stop and think, what am I doing? Am I even thinking through my actions and my behavior? So that was a moment that was a moment of reflection for me to just pause and think about how am I feeling when I'm going for grocery shopping? And what I was feeling was anxiety and pressure of the unknown. I was observing the reaction of everybody else around me and the shelves being empty and nothing being available. And I was sort of caving into my impulse and buying in bulk and being part of that. So this is where my fear, my feelings are really taking over and deciding the action that I'm taking moving forward. I also noticed that I'm getting a lot of WhatsApp messages around why is coronavirus happening? How long might it last? What are the implications? And many times I am simply forwarding that on to other people. So in that moment in time, it's just pausing and taking a reflection would be just thinking through about the credibility of the information we're getting. Are we getting this from a credible source or information, or are you adding to the rumor mill by simply extending it forward? So I think a moment of reflection, again, is just simply pausing, being still, and focusing on your inward feelings. Being aware of how you're feeling and the thoughts that you're getting and how are they impacting your behavior and action. That is the first technique that I wanted to share with you. The next idea that I would like to share is around shifting your mindset. So yes, we are now reflecting and we are more aware of how we're feeling, but what's next? How do you then use that power, that information about self-awareness to make more conscious decisions? That's where shifting our mindset comes into play. You might have heard the saying, not being able to see the forest for the trees, which means when we are so focused on the little details, when we are so worried about every little detail, we might miss the overall picture, the overall situation. So in this example, if you're too focused on a specific branch or a specific detail, you might miss that this is a picture of a beautiful forest, full of life, teeming with life, right? And shifting our mindset is a technique where we can be more intentional about using our mindset and thinking about, okay, what aspects do we want to focus on? I'll share another story with you. I have two kids. They're 3 and 6, and they come up with new things to play with all the time. And one day I was entering into my living room, and what I noticed was there is no space on the floor. There are toys and clothes and pillows and comforter, everything's on the floor. And my immediate reaction is tidy up. I was just about to say the words tidy up when I paused and had a few seconds of reflection and saying, okay, how is this different from their perspective? Let me just give it a thought. And I sat down on the floor with them. And now what I noticed was that they had created a train track that is very meticulously going into this tunnel, which they have created from pillows and comforters. And the train track is coming around the tunnel, coming back from under the table, the dining room table, coming back to the dinosaurs that are waiting to greet the train. And so this is the fantastic, picture of creativity, which I was going to ask them to tidy up. But this really required a shift in mindset. And it's not simple sometimes. I find it challenging because the shift in mindset is really being aware of how you're feeling, even if it's your heart starts to beat fast, is to be aware of that, and your impulse reaction that you're having. And at that moment in time, my shift in mindset is to understand their perspective, is that they are also part of this lockdown and they're not going to any park, they're not going to school, not playing with friends. What they've done is transformed my living room space to this beautiful creation of their playground. That's what they've done. And the shift in mindset helps me to acknowledge and accept what's happening right in front of my eyes. And it helps me in that moment to understand the perspective of my kids. And so I would suggest that, this is just an example of how we can use our intention and our willpower to see things differently and to focus on, to offer a different perspective. So in today's time, I find that there is so much pressure to be fast and to go and get things done and be efficient. But sometimes it's about focusing on the right things. Right? It's sometimes about being aware of how you're feeling. What are you going to react to? How will you react to it? So shift in mindset is what will you react to? How will you react to it? And reflection is also then, what do I simply let go? Because maybe, frankly, it's not worth it. Or I simply let go because it's beyond my circle of influence. Maybe I focus on items that are within my circle of control and circle of influence, and I don't worry too much about other items that are concerning me. So it's choosing. It's really choosing What is it that's impacting us, and how do we react to it? That's why reflection and shifting our mindset, that's how they go hand in hand. So I came across these ideas while practicing heartfulness meditation, actually. So reflection, I talked about, at the end of a meditation sitting, we just calm ourselves down, close our eyes, and think about our state of being and write a few notes on a piece of paper and to observe how you're feeling. Shifting in mindset is something that came to my mind when, one of the practices in heartfulness is cleaning ourselves of our thoughts and actions and impurities that we collect throughout the day. So shifting in mindset is every evening, it's suggested that we sit down and we imagine and we use our willpower and we focus on any thoughts that are impacting us, and we focus on the thoughts, impurities exiting from behind our back. So that is an example where we're using our willpower, our intention to take an action. So those were the two concepts that I wanted to share with everyone at this time. It's also good to experience some of these ideas for ourselves. So what I'd like to suggest next is what we're going to do is I'm going to provide a guided relaxation. It's very simple. I'm going to give simple directions on how we can, each of us, relax ourselves. It'll be a few minutes. At the end of our guided relaxation, we will go into meditation. So let's talk a bit about meditation for a moment. As I said before, meditation is simply focusing on a single thought or activity. And meditation is a technique that helps us to reduce lots of thoughts to less thoughts, and then hopefully to one thought, and then ideally to no thought at all. You're in this moment where you're still and you're enjoying that moment. That is meditation. There's lots of kinds of meditation. Heartfulness meditation specifically is grounded in science, and it's focused on the two main elements within our human body. So it's focused on the mind and the heart. Heartfulness meditation is about connecting our mind to our heart. As you've experienced, our mind is always very busy, and I call it the mental chatter. It's always something we're thinking in our mind, and it's hard to keep the mind still. But with this practice, the idea is to connect a lot of activity in our mind to the stillness in our heart. And that helps us to focus, and that helps us to strengthen where we want to really focus on energy on. So it's connecting the mind to the heart. In heartfulness meditation, there are a number of trainers, and here you will see on the screen, Vishwa has joined me as well from Canada. He's one of the trainers. And as part of heartfulness meditation, trainers are specifically focusing on transmitting energy to the practitioners. And so the idea is that we're focusing on each of us in our heart. We're focusing on the source of energy within our heart, and we're focusing on that while we are meditating. So when we start a practice of meditation, Vishwa I will say, please start. And with the help of Vishwa, we're all sitting together calmly, and we're practicing meditation for a few minutes. And then he will give us a cue to pause, to stop meditation, and then we'll wrap up with the session. Okay, so that's a little bit background about what we're going to do next. I'm going to now give guided relaxation, and I invite you to join me in relaxation. Please sit comfortably in a position. Please gently close your eyes. We're going to relax our body from top to toe. Focus on your toes. Wriggle your toes. And now relax them. Focus the energy from the earth is entering your feet. It's entering to your ankles, and relax your feet and ankles. Bring your awareness towards your knees and focus the energy from the earth coming up towards your knees. Relax your lower leg. Now bring your awareness to your thighs and relax your thighs. Bring your awareness to your hips. Deeply relax your hips. Focus your energy towards your stomach muscles and your waist. Relax them. Next, moving on to your back. Focus on your back muscles from the top of the back to the bottom of the spine, and relax each muscle in your back. Now focusing on the chest and the shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Feel the heaviness from your shoulders simply melt away. Relax your upper arm, and then gradually relax your forearm. Relax your hands right to the tip of your fingertips. Your lower body, your hands, your chest and shoulders are now relaxed. Now focus your awareness on your neck muscles. Relax them. Bring your awareness to your face. Relax your mouth, your nose, your eyes, your earlobes. Relax your forehead. Relax the many facial muscles that we have. You are now relaxed from top to toe. Keep your eyes closed and take a moment to scan your body from top to toe. If you find any specific areas that are still tight or feel tense, take a moment to bring awareness to them and relax them. When you are ready, bring your attention to the heart. Bring your attention to the stillness in your heart. As we start meditation, you might experience lots of thoughts coming to your mind. Try not to dwell on them, just let them go, and bring your attention and awareness again to the source of light that's already present within your heart. We will now start meditation. Please start meditation.
that's all. Gently keep your eyes closed. Remain centered in your heart. Gently recount whatever experiences you had during this meditation session. Recount how the rush of thoughts were, whether you were able to go deep, whether you were able to feel sensations in your system. Gently recount that. And whenever you are ready, gently open your eyes. I understand that there are many new seekers who have experienced heartfulness. In fact, experienced the power of transmission today by closing our eyes and trying meditating with us. Nupur actually covered everything beautifully. If I may just share a couple of things. Heartfulness is basically free. Whatever you experience, all the help that you will get from the trainers, there is going to be no charge for anything. It's all completely free. There are many trainers who are located across the world. Especially there are many trainers, heartfulness trainers in Canada who are very adept and experienced in helping the new practitioners. If you already are not in touch with a heartfulness trainer, please write to us, heartfulnesscares@heartfulness.org. Again, heartfulnesscares@heartfulness.org. Generally, whenever we go to a place and when we know where we are going, how to go, we don't really need any help. When we meditate and when we have lots of experiences, and especially with eyes closed, if we have doubts whether we are doing the right way or wrong way, what is the significance of any experiences that we have? The trainers are adept because they have walked through the same path, and so they would be able to help us along in this practice. And in heartfulness, it's not just about meditation, it's a toolkit for mental wellness. Meditation is just the first book that we can take up to read. Once we feel comfortable with meditation, there are other techniques which the trainers will be willing to share with the practitioners as they are ready to dive deep to look for the pearls. With that said, I would like to thank everyone for joining with me in this meditation session. Now I will turn it over to Nupur. Thank you.
Vishwa. So oftentimes we experience something. Maybe you read a book or you attend a session like today's, or you hear somebody else speak something, or you're having a conversation with a friend and you have an aha moment, right? You think, oh, that's new. That's something I'd like to try. And you intend to do that, but then life gets busy. And then the moment you step away, you get busy with your day-to-day activities and you might miss that moment. So another idea that I'd like to share is about start, stop, and continue. So what happens is if we are more intentional about the action we want to take, we get things done, right? We shift our mindset and then we can focus on the items that are really important to us. So start is identifying something that perhaps you want to try out, perhaps you want to experience, and being very intentional about trying it out. So think about one thing that maybe you can relate to in today's session and maybe resonated with you and you'd like to start doing that. That's one idea. Another is stop. Maybe there's something, a habit, or there's something that you are part of that you'd like to stop that's not very helpful with respect to keeping your mind still, focusing on your thoughts, being resilient. What is something that you can stop doing that'll help you? And the third idea is continue. There's lots of great practices and activities we're already incorporating in our day-to-day life, and we don't want to lose sight of what's already working for us, right? So perhaps you wake up in the morning and you drink a glass of warm water. That's great. You want to not lose sight of that and continue to do that. So what is something simple that you are already doing? Pat yourself on the back, and you want to continue to do. I think for myself, it's being grateful. Despite of so many changes and information in the news and a lot of information surrounding us that's uncertain and unclear, I'm surrounded by people. I have a lot of support, and I'm surrounded by a lot of love and support. And I'm very thankful for that every day. And I don't want to lose sight of that. So I want to continue to have that gratitude and have that feeling of being thankful to others. And I want to continue that. So that's just a commitment I've made to myself. So just like to pause now and think about, can you think of something that you might want to start, or you might want to stop, or you might want to continue? Is there something that you can, again, relate to from today's session? Let's take a few minutes. If you feel comfortable, I invite you to use the chat features in either YouTube or Facebook, however else you're joining. Maybe use the chat feature and share some of your thoughts on what is it that you would like to do moving forward. So I'm just going to pause here and give time to everyone to participate. And then, Vishwa, do you have visibility into any comments that are coming in? I think I don't see them here, but if you want to acknowledge them or bring up any questions, happy to take them.
I have been acknowledging it. There has been great feedback. Nupur, very nicely done. It was fantastic. And then another comment, very interesting. Thank you for the session. So it's been great feedback for you, Nupur.
Okay, thank you. I meant, is there any questions that we can sort of use this platform to help clarify or share with others? Any tip that's already working for you you'd like to share with others that are joining this session?
So far, there has been no questions that have come. So probably people are welcome to add their comments in Facebook and YouTube about how their experience was. And if they have any questions, and we would be very happy to engage and help them along.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That sounds great. I know sometimes it's hard when there's silence, and it's hard to pause, and we want to keep going and like, okay, no questions, let's move on. But I think sometimes silence is okay. We need to give ourselves time to reflect and give feedback. So thank you for those who have already participated. And I hope you take one thing away from today's session that you'd like to apply and simply experience, or just try it out. Just try it out for yourself and decide what you might want to do next. So we are running a series of heart-to-heart, this heart-to-heart series. We are running it, as I mentioned. We'll have a new topic again on Sunday morning Eastern time, and again Wednesday next week at 7:30 p.m. And I look forward to meeting all of you again. Thank you.
Nupur, can you make me the host so I can stop the live broadcast?
Yes.